For 4 years, ISIS rebuilt, and they have a little bit of ISIS now again. And we knocked the hell out of them the other day in Nigeria because they were killing Christians. You know about that. They were killing Christians. So you can't do that. When Christians come under attack, they know they're going to be attacked violently and viciously by President Trump. I know it's not a nice thing to say, but that's the way it is. I set up an official Department of Justice task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias, because you do have a lot of that. They don't talk about that. They're always talking about other religions and other different, but a lot of anti-Christian bias, and you see it going in foreign countries. I mentioned Nigeria. There are others. We're hitting them very hard.
So just yesterday, another gruesome genocidal attack by Fulani terrorists took place in Benue Abande village in Turan in Kwanje local government area of Benue State. The government in Nigeria cannot cease to amaze us, because these things happen every day, these genocidal killings. But they are rather concentrating their energies in image laundering. As we speak, there are a lot of government officials right here in Washington, D.C., starting from the First Lady of Nigeria to a lot of some state governors, some, senior government officials, moving from offices to offices, trying to denounce what's happening. But as they move from those offices, we're also going to the same offices and meeting the same people and letting know the truth of what's happening and revealing the pictures, the videos, the data of everything that's happening every day. Genocide is ongoing in Nigeria. And it's so unfortunate that maybe because we've come to sort of live with it, and so a lot of people thought that it is normal. It is not normal. Yes, they thought that it is normal. That's why, like, for instance, in Abande village right now in Kwande local government, more than 20 people were killed. But the governor of Benue State won't visit that place. The president won't visit. In nowhere in the world, no country in the world, will up to 20 people be killed that the president of the country won't visit the place. Not in America, not in Russia, not in the UK, not in China. That 20 people, 20 citizens will be killed. You see, but it's happened in my village, for instance, Yerota, and they didn't go there. The president didn't go, the governor didn't go until when the chief of army staff was coming, the chief of defense staff. Now it has happened in Abande village in Benue State, in Turan, that's in Kwande local government. More than 20 people were just killed in their own ancestral land on their market day. Just yesterday by Fulani terrorists. And we're behaving as if everything is normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. Terrorism is going on a genocidal scale. They are killing Christians on a genocidal scale. The biggest ever genocide recorded in this world in modern times. It's happening, unfortunately, in Nigeria, most especially in the Middle Belt. From Benue to Plateau to Taraba to Nasarawa to Niger, Kwara, So we're not going to stop, and we must have solutions to this. And these guys brought up a certain strategy that when you talk about genocide, they begin to go against you. Like I've been reading in recent times where one so-called organization called the Sharia Council were like calling for the resignation of the chairman of the INEC because he wrote about genocide. Yes, genocide, and what you are doing is just a strategy. Which of course that's part of your lives. You like adopting strategies to deflect from the reality of what's happening. So genocide is happening daily in Nigeria, and it needs to stop. And I'll really call on the Tinubu government to bring to account the likes of, let's call the likes of Sultan of Sokoto, the likes of El-Rufai, the likes of that General Dambazao, the likes of Sheikh Gumi, an established enabler, the likes of Hamid Ali, when Hamid Ali was in charge of customs, and he seized, custom recovered over thousands of automatic weapons that were imported from Turkey. Where are those weapons? Who did they give these weapons to? So the likes of Hamid Ali, all these Fulani guys, they need to answer to this. They're just killing innocent Christians, and we're saying that they will succeed. Because they've been killing, but they could say that for the years they've been killing, they've never really succeeded. Just imagine if we stand up and we begin to react. So they can't win. They can't. It's not possible. We are breeding a new generation of resistance army. They can't win. It's not going to be possible. So let President Tinubu stand up and bring these guys to account. It's not all about coming and going all over Washington, D.C., going from offices to offices. Actions speak louder than words. Act. People need to go back to their ancestral land and settle in peace. And then the sponsors of these terrorists need to be arrested and prosecuted. Let them account for their crimes. That is what we're saying. Let them account. So we need accountability and resettlement of our people back in their ancestral lands. Accountability. When this begin to happen, we will be the people spearheading the media team of the president to tell the world what the president is doing. You know? But for now, they are doing nothing rather than image laundering. So we can't continue like this as they move from offices to offices here in Washington and begin to launder their image or begin to want to twist and change the narrative. We will also go to those offices. We are here too. We've been going to those offices, meeting the same people with raw data, raw videos, raw pictures, evidence. You know? So all this needs to stop. That's the truth. That's the least we're calling for. So it amazes me that the least of what we're calling is peace, resettlement. And people are still looking at it as a long thing, as a big thing. You know? But that's the truth of what's happening. We ain't gonna stop. We seriously won't stop. You know, until peace is achieved and our people are resettled and the sponsors of this genocide are apprehended and brought to book.
Okay, Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa, have destroyed and exposed the Fulani agenda against Nigerians, against the Middle Belters, against even the Yorubas themselves, even though some people call them their betrayer. And what? And it's looking as if that what the America and Israel will be bringing, the Venezuela type of treatment to Sokoto and to the Sokoto Caliphate, and most importantly to the northern, cabals. What's your take as regards this?
You see, the collusion or collaboration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa's, agitation has exposed many weak points of the North. There are many things that were hidden before that has been unfolded right now to everybody's notice. It was Malami, it was Sadano Sokoto, Buhari himself, Gumi, and all those radicalized Muslims, elites in the North that actually wanted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa dead. But this time around, they have, been receiving blames. I don't know what to understand. Every backlash. Why? They have seen that what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was saying in the past is now a truth. And what actually exposed this truth mostly was the Christian genocide that was on course since last year, since 2 years ago, since 3 years ago. For 10 years now, Christian genocide was going on. And this young gentleman has been shouting and shouting, reporting Nigeria on the media, visiting United Nations Secretariat, visiting Israel, Canada, reporting Nigeria on what is happening today. In the past, and we've seen Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as a prophet who actually exposed Sadano Sokoto's hypocrisy. Yes, Sadana's hypocrisy has been exposed by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Simon Ekpa collaboration. Because Sadano Sokoto is not a Nigerian. He migrated from Senegambia. He's a Fulani man. Using their grandfather ideology. Abakatafa Balawa, Osman Danfodio, the first Fulani jihadist in West Africa, was just to conquer them, oppress them, divide them, rule them. That was the method used by the jihadists, Ottoman Danfodio, that actually captured Afonja at the axis of Kwara State, Yoruba Oba. I don't know what I understand. And cut his head. And today, are the Yorubas not Muslims? They are. And okay, today I have a question for you. Could a Yoruba man preside over bigger Jumat in Abuja? Yoruba man has an imam. Every Fulani Muslim will walk away. You see the kind of trick.
Is it that they feel that they are superior?
I'm telling you, Fulani believe that since the oldest mosque,
They are superior to
yes, since the oldest mosque in Timbuktu, Mali, is in Timbuktu, Mali, and Fulani man migrated from Mali, migrated from Senegambia, migrated from Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, as far as Sudan. They believe that they are superior to any Muslim other tribe. Any other tribe that is a Muslim, Fulani man doesn't regard you. Yet they want you to belong, go either by force or you pay the ultimate price. That is what makes Fulani radicalized Muslims the most difficult sects we have in the world. Yet they don't want to reintegrate you into their midst to become one of them, because they believe that the Allah where them they talk. They believe that that's their drink, beer, that they don't drink in the open places, drinking beer, putting it inside jug and kettle, drinking it indoor, smoking what is more dangerous, intoxicating than beer. In the darkness, sometimes they smoke it in the open place. That is drug. Causing people, Christians that are drinking beer. Beer and drug, which one is more dangerous? When Gumi said that Christians deserve death, all of them, because they are drinking, just imagine. Look at that Muslim pig like Gumi. Look at his own belief and mindset. Beer and wine, drug, sock away, gum, heroin, cocaine, smoked by the Muslims, by the radicalized Muslims. That one is not against the law. So let me tell you, my brother, it is too obvious that what opened Nigerians' eyes was predictions, prophecies of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa. That time shall come, the Fulanis will actually leave the bush where they are always hiding out, coming into the town, slaughtering Christians, slaughtering community peoples, slaughtering villages, slaughtering people in the town. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu actually predicted it right. That is what has happened. Fulani has invited all their brothers in southern Nile, southern Algeria, southern Morocco, all the Fulani tribes in Mauritania, southern Libya, southern Niger, southern Chad, as far as Sudan, into Nigeria to help them fight jihad. Jihad is by forcing people into Islam. That is the meaning of jihad. To believe, to become Muslim faith, Islamic faith. I don't know what to understand. So let me tell you, jihadism is it. That is the meaning of jihadism. And the Fulani succeeded on doing that. I don't know what to understand. So that's it. I'm telling you. So this time around, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu exposed all these truths to Nigerians. And that's why Sadano Sokoto is running. He's on the wall because Kanu, on the road because Kanu has succeeded. I don't know what to understand. Kanu has succeeded on opening the eyes of the Northerners. Kanu has succeeded on telling the Hausas how far. This is what happened to you. The Hausa man now has begun to have killing mindset of whom he is. See, what Kanu and Simon Ekpa has done has brought to this kind of peaceful atmosphere in the north. The killings we see on the north now are mercenaries. Mercenaries from Middle East. I don't know what to understand. They are all ISWAP, ISIS, Al-Qaeda fighters, or you call them militia, bought over by northern elites, radicalized Muslims in the north. Number one person is Sadano Sokoto. And today you are seeing it. I don't know what to understand. So this has opened the eyes of Nupers, Bares, Hausas in Plateau State, Hausas in Niger, Hausas in Sokoto, Hausas in Niger, Bauchi, Gombe, Kaduna, Kano, Zamfara, Sokoto. Their eyes are open. Katsina. The Fulanis are visitors and they are all bandits. Bloody one. So you see it happening, coming. That's why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now an exonerated person. See, let me tell you, come what may, Kano has turned Sokoto prison into a tourist attraction center. And the whole world are visiting Sokoto prison. And come to me, this is 2026. Bet me, Kano is coming out. Willy-nilly, whether Tinubu likes it or not, whether the young man that was yelling at me inside his car over my accurate and lucid narration on how Fulani Janjaweeds invaded Nigeria, whether that young man that was yelling at me likes it or not, Kano is coming out. I don't understand. He was just yelling and yelling, but I was busy, you know, explaining my thing. Because all I know is that he couldn't come out from the car to fight me. The whole world will watch him and he will get arrested. Because I am entitled to my opinion. I'm an Igbo man. I must speak out. I will never hide under the aegis of timidity or timorousness, being, you know, depreciated or belittled by all these, you know, criminals, urchins, Nigerian non-entities that could not even come out and voice out what is wrong with Nigerian political landscapes. So most of us that are saying the truth on the street of Lagos, they often attack us, but we still remain on our point. Come what may, Kano is the reason why Gumi, El-Rufai, Sadano Sokoto, they are asking for division of Nigeria right now, and most of them, they have been absconding. Why? Israel has come in to collude with America to begin to pick these sponsors of terrorists in the north, one by one, one by one. And again, I want to tell you this. Sokoto forest bombardment by American military forces has actually exposed many things about Sokoto Caliphates. Sadano Sokoto is the director general, an emperor, a royal father of all the terrorist platforms in the northern Nigeria. Where is Sadano Sokoto? Where is Gumi? Where is El-Rufai? We want to see all these sponsors whose names were compiled in the faraway United Arab Emirates. They are all on the run. And I want to tell you that Israel is coming with American military operation. State of Israel is going to pick one by one all the sponsors using their Mossad operatives in the north, wherever they go, wherever they're hiding. No hiding place for Gumi. There's no hiding place for goldfish like El-Rufai. There is no hiding place for all these sponsors of bandits and other terrorist platforms like Badaru. Badaru, the former minister of, I think, defense, that was just retired the other day. They were all fingered. What about Mudu Cherif? Mudu Cherif has been fingered. What about Kwankwaso? Fingered because he was the one that actually signed Sharia law in Kano State for the first time. I don't know what to understand. Mossad is coming to pick all these people. If care is not taken, what happened in Venezuela is going to be repeated here. Trump